everyone, for today I'm going to show you how to make a project using two dies at the same time. And the two dies that I'm going to be using today is the Armoire treat bag cover. This is an XL die. Well, they're both XL dies, and this is by Jen Long. Makes a really adorable treat bag. And then I'm also going to use Lori Whitlock's Pocket and Mini album, and I'm just going to be using just the pockets only. Okay, so let me show you what I made here. I made a couple of different styles armoires. So this first one that I created was this one right here, and I use Prima's Debutante collection, and I also use the Sizzix mat board. And then you can see here I added the top for the armoire and then the bottom as well. And these are the doors. And then I added some Prima flowers and the Debutante Satan crystals. And then you can see here it has an accordion fold on the bottom. And so when you open it up, the pockets pop out like so. And these fit, perfectly a 3x4 card. And so I did that. And this was really fun. And then it just stands up like this, like an armoire. Okay, and then I wanted to make a different one. So the second one I made was this one, which is more of a file. And again, this is the Prima collection, the Rouge, and then I also use the Satan crystals, and again I use the mat board. I just use the mat board for the top right here, the doors, and then the bottom piece. This one I did use it for the armoire as well, but this one I used the design paper and layered in between some craft cardstock, and then I added some of the coordinating Prima flowers and chipboard pieces on top. I really enjoy decorating the top. And then when you open this one up, it's more of a file. And I put 7 pockets on this one day for each day of the week. And you can see here it fits perfectly 3x4 cards. And it's really nice because Prima has, with most of all the collections, the little note cards. Okay? So they fit perfect into these pockets. Okay, so I made that one. And then I thought I'd make a favor box. So this one's a favor box. And this is using the Something Blue collection. This time I added one of the Julie knitting dolls, which she fit perfectly. And then I decorated again the top. And then this box opens like so. So you could put some treats inside. Really fun. You can also make a dresser. So this is a little dresser I made. So instead of the doors, making them as doors, you make them as drawers. You just add an additional piece. And then the back here, which normally would have been the front of the armoire, I just place it on the back. And then I just snip the sides here to make it fit. And you can make a dresser. So this one is the favor box. And then Julie came out with some really adorable baby doll stamps that would fit perfectly in front of this little dresser. So let me show you how to make these. They're really addicting and fun. I even had made another one of the accordion. Really cute to make. Okay, so let's see here. So what you're going to need from this die right here, you're basically going to need all the pieces. So you need to cut out all these pieces. I went ahead and cut one. Apologize for this. I did try recording this earlier and my battery died, so I just pulled it apart rather than cutting another piece again. So you're going to cut one of these pieces. You're going to cut an additional piece with just the top here, and you're going to, let me see, what is this cut at? If you line this onto your scoreboard, you're going to cut it at 3 3/8. And what this piece does is when you put it together, some glue here, when you put the piece together, it makes the armoire. So you just lay this on top. And you can cut an additional piece to cover this right here if you don't want that to show. But you can see here, it makes the box. Okay, that's how that creates that. And you can use lightweight chipboard, mat board, double up your paper with craft cardstock like I did to make it more sturdy. Okay, and then what you're going to need is, this is what's going to make the bottom piece. Okay, and this piece measures 3 1/8 by 6, and you're going to score it every 1/2 inch. And then you're going to do a mountain valley fold. Okay, let's open this up. So you put double-sided tape on both ends. So you just line it up. And remove this piece. And line that up. Okay, and then you can add your pockets. So you place your pockets here on the slits. Okay, and then you would close that up, and then that's when you're going to add your top piece, which is this piece right here. So I just add a little bit adhesive on the top right here, and then I just glue it down. And then the same thing goes with the bottom piece. You're just going to add a little glue here, and then just place it there. And then add another one to the back. And then you can decorate the top however you want. So that's how you make that one. Now to make the accordion one, again, you're going to cut another one of these pieces. And then you're going to cut your top piece. So let's add that. The 2 pieces on the side, you're going to have 2 of those, and this measures 4 1/8 by 7, and you're going to score it every 1/2 inch. You're going to do again a mountain valley fold, and you're going to add your adhesive to both the ends, and this time you're going to adhere it to the sides right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Before I do that, though, I do want to mention there are 2 different ways that you can add the pockets. And I've tried both. So what you can do is you can cut out all your pockets. You can go ahead and adhere it. So you would add adhesive right here and so forth all the way to the end. And then add your pocket like this. Okay, and you can add all your pockets. Then you can adhere it to the armoire. So that's one option. I find it, for me, I find it nicer to adhere these pieces first and then add the pockets. So we're going to go ahead and add this to the side. And you'll notice this is 4 1/4 and this is 4 1/8. And the reason why this is 4 1/8 is because the pockets were 4 1/8, and I want it to match the pockets. You can make it 4 1/4. It's up to you if you want it to go all the way up. But I start adhering it from the bottom, and you're going to notice it's 1/8 of an inch smaller up here, but I'm okay with that. And then just add this to the other side. It is a little trickier to do it this way, to add the pockets. But again, you could do it either way, whatever's easier for you. Okay, so that's how you do that. And then you're going to add the other side. Again, I start from the bottom. You want to make sure that you do line it perfectly to the edge. That way the pockets will fit exact. So make sure it lines up exactly to the edge. Okay, so that it looks like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add adhesive. I add adhesive, some wet glue on both ends, on the sides, and then I just slide it in like so. Okay, and then you just keep going all the way to the end. But you could do it that way, but the other ways works well too, to put the pockets first. Okay, so that's how you do that one. And then the last one is a favor box. So again, you're going to have your piece right here. You're going to adhere the top. Like so. And the great thing about these being two separate pieces, you can make it two, you can see here, you can make it two different design papers, which is really nice. Okay, so you got that. The two side pieces, you're going to cut two of those, and this measures 3 1/8 by 5 1/4. You're going to score 1/2 inch on all 4 sides, and you'll notice here I do cut it at an angle on the sides. And then you're going to do that to both. So we'll go ahead, and you're just going to glue the sides and the bottom, not the top. Let's go ahead and add our glue here. So this one is 4 1/4, so it fits perfectly on the sides. Okay. And just push this down. I'm going to do the other side. You can fill this in with lots of goodies. This would make a really nice party favor. Or just, you know, just a fun gift to give to someone that loves armoires or jewelry. It's cute to put jewelry in here. So lots of different ideas to fill this box with. It's really cute with the Prima doll stamp. Okay, so that's how you make the favor box. And you just push these 2 tabs down, and then you've got yourself a box. Okay, and again you're going to add, I'll show you how to I glue the bottom and the top. So just take your glue and just add a little, like right here, the bottom. That's a little much, but. And then I just place this like so. Right here, these parts right here is what I lined to the bottom of the box. Make sure it's even. Okay, and then you're just going to add, I do the top piece on here. Add your top piece. Same thing, add some glue on the top. And then you add the back piece. Just line that up. And you've got your cute armoire. It's so fun to make. And again, you can make it into a dresser, like I did here. And you can see I made a ton of them. They're very fun and addicting to make. And I hope you give it a try. Thanks for watching. Bye.